Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/AITA. In today's episode, AITA for suing my girlfriend after she had my 1967 Impala project taken to the scrapyard? AITA for looking out for my new co-worker by telling her that her food might be upsetting to others? AITA for refusing to let my sister wear our late mom's necklace on her wedding day? Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. AITA for suing my girlfriend after she had my 1967 Impala project taken to the scrapyard? I'll try to keep this short. I had a 1967 Impala 4-door that I bought in February 2019. A couple months ago, I bought my first house that had a 2.5 car garage. I moved the car in and started tearing it down for a complete restoration. I had the body in one bay and the chassis in another, plus the whole garage filled with parts. About 2 months ago, my girlfriend came to live with me during this whole crisis, and the whole time has hated that car. She wants to park in the garage, but I have 2 acres of land with a lot of nice places to park under shady trees, or hell, even in the barn if it has to be inside. I tell her tough luck, it's my house and it's not like I can just throw it back together real quick. Anyways, I was out of town for a couple days on a business trip for the small local company I work for. When I got back, my girlfriend was all smiles. Making me food all the time, doing all the chores, all that. I thought maybe she just was happy to have me home, but then I realized that I didn't see her car in its usual spot. I asked her where she parked so I could make sure I mow that area and keep it clean, and she said not to worry because she parked in the garage. I asked how and she told me to go check it out. Turns out that while I was gone, she hired some people to come over and move everything related to that car, including the drivetrain, body, and chassis and all parts, and take it to the local dump/scrapyard. I was absolutely dumbfounded. I had spent over $11,000 on that car, including new parts, services, and the car itself. I told her that I was going to be taking her to court for that, and she brushed me off like I was being dramatic. I told her that it's done between us and to pack her things and leave. I admit I was really angry, but I did end up getting a lawyer, and as I have all the receipts for all that money spent and I have her on my house's security cam footage letting the guys in and watching them take it all, I think I can win. Her family and friends are absolutely blowing me up, saying it's just a stupid old piece of junk and that she cannot pay back all that money I spent, and that I should just let it go. But I have been putting all my time, effort, and money into that car for a year and a half now, and goddammit if I am not going to get justice for what she did. AITA. Edit. Thank you all so much for the support and awards and everything. I'm glad I have some people on my side. I got a call from her mom about 20 minutes ago, and she told me that I was ruining her daughter's life over a stupid car. I told her she ruined her own life. I've been gathering documentation and stuff, and I'm about to head down to the police station and file a report, as suggested by lots here. Once again, thank you all. Update: went to the police station last night, was told to come back in the morning. Just got back and filed an official report against her for grand larceny and grand theft auto. I showed them all the receipts I had for the car and the footage of her letting the guys come and take it, as well as the title for the vehicle in my name. They said they will be in contact with all 3 parties, me, XGF, and junkyard guys, soon, and they will hopefully be able to recover some or all of the car. Just have to wait now. Huge update: they found my car. The junkyard guys apparently were in the middle of hiding it when the police came to ask them questions. It was on a forklift, and they were gonna put it on top of a pile of cars that was hidden behind more piles of cars. They said it was theirs and they had the title, but obviously didn't have the title for it, and since they matched the VIN on the chassis and body to the VIN on my title, it was obviously mine. I know at least one person there has been arrested. I think he was in the camera footage I talked about earlier, but if it was the boss or whomever, or even his specific charge, they also told me they would be looking into this specific junkyard for any other vehicles reported stolen. They said they haven't been able to get in contact with my ex just yet, but they're working on it. I'm just so glad they found my car. Luckily, I made quite an album of pictures detailing me tearing down the car, and so I can use that to prove what parts they had were mine, so I can hopefully get most or all of it back. Police haven't let me take it back home yet, as they say it is evidence or something, so hopefully I can get it back eventually. Thank you all so much for the support and advice. She's gonna be alright. NTA, sue her ass. Sue her for the cost plus a few extra thousand for the time and money. Have her prosecuted for theft, destruction of private property, and have the guys that came to get it prosecuted for receiving stolen goods. Nail them all to the wall. I mean, I can't blame the guys that came and got it. She told them it was her dad's and she had lost the title for it and wanted it gone, and they believed her, so it's not their fault they got lied to. Agree with this, if possible, press charges. That is theft. NTA. How do you have the nerve to do something like that in someone's home? She isn't even your wife. She went too far, and I say you dodged a bullet. I wouldn't say I dodged a bullet, more like it hit me in the shoulder instead of the heart. Hurts, but could be a lot worse. NTA. My husband has several old cars. I haven't seen the inside of the garage in 20 years. But he loves his hobby cars, and I would never dream of asking him to lose one. I say take her to court. Be sure you sue for replacement cost. The Impalas are getting hard to come by, and you may have to pay more than you think. Oh, and congrats on dodging the bullet with that one. If she pulled this crap in the first year. Just think what she would be trying after a couple of kids and 10 years of marriage. I knew within 2 months of dating of my now husband that in this relationship, my vehicle would probably never park in the garage, and I'm still okay with that years later. Go find a partner who respects you and your belongings. AITA. What is with this sub and terrible SOs who don't respect their partner's property and passions? Like, how did she expect you act? Oh, yeah, you completely destroyed my passion project while also causing a considerable financial loss. But at least your car is in the garage. She wasn't very bright, being dumped and sued is the most predictable outcome from this scenario. Right. It's amazing how they even feel super proud afterwards. Like, no, you don't have to thank me, I did it because I knew your 12 billion previous don't do it were just lies. I would file a police report and see if there was any way that you could get her prosecuted. NTA. NTA, contact the police immediately and file a report for felonious theft of property. NTA. Relationship-wise, this was a gross overstep on her part just to get her way on something minor. Ending the relationship immediately was the right thing to do. Legal-wise, don't destroy something you can't afford to replace. Take her down, let her pay it off over the next few years. NTA. I can make an educated guess as to why it was a '67 Impala, and I am horrified for you. That's straight up theft. If that's how she treats your baby, imagine what else she'll feel free to dispose of. NTA. On a normal day, this would be bad enough, but as a petrol head, this really has got my blood boiling. I can only imagine how much this meant to you. I am so sorry this has happened to you. I am so sorry. Is there any way you could get the car back? AITA for looking out for my new co-worker by telling her that her food might be upsetting to others? I, 32M, white, am potentially in trouble at work, but I don't really think I deserve it. My co-worker, Anna, 23ish F, Asian, is new at our office and she brings her own lunch on days we don't have a food truck. On Thursday, yesterday, she brought in a homemade stir-fry and used our shared microwave in the break room to do it. I was in the room when she took it out of the microwave, and it smelled heavenly. I asked her about the recipe and she told me it was just a bunch of ingredients and spices thrown together as to not waste any veggies that might go bad soon. When I was telling her how good it smelled, I also mentioned that some other people at the office might think it would be too smelly or ethnic, as in, racist people tend to look down on ethnic things. I have read those kind of stories on here about microaggressions when it comes to people of color and the food they bring in, and I wanted to warn her that she might not want to bring it in anymore so it doesn't happen to her. I emphasized that it smelled good to me personally, though. I guess a couple of the other co-workers in the room overheard our conversation, because after Anna left the room, some of them sort of quietly told me how it was inappropriate for me to have said that. I told them that it's true, that ethnic food gets ridiculed for smelling too strong and that I disagreed with that sentiment, but I also think she would face less harassment if she didn't bring in that food anymore. One of my other co-workers then said that I was the only one harassing her and making insinuations that her food is problematic, plus the fact that she hasn't even been bringing in her own food that often since she just started last week, so there couldn't have been an opportunity to have had this hypothetical harassment happen to her. I just wanted people, yes, even the assholes, at the office to make her feel welcomed. I left work that day not thinking anything of it, until the following morning where I hear from a different coworker that Anna talked to our HR department about the conversation and how she was hurt. I'm a bit frustrated as to why she didn't talk to me about it first since it was just a misunderstanding and that I'm looking out for her. I did notice that today she was trying to dodge me, which is unusual and a bit heartbreaking. I just want to work things out. I wanted to be a friend to her and help her out since this is one of her first jobs out of undergrad, but this has been blown about proportion. Now my coworkers think I'm racist, but I really try my best to be an ally, but then again, what do I know? So, am I the asshole for telling her that her food might be a bit too much for other potentially racist people in the office to handle? Edit, some people have said to edit this post to add this, yes, I get it, I'm the asshole. What I said was really stupid. If it means anything to you guys, I remember entering the workforce as a young man shadowing assholes and I didn't know how to express how shitty I was treated since I thought it was normal to be treated a certain way or overhear certain things. I just thought she was a sweet girl who didn't deserve to see the nasty side of corporate life so quick, but I guess I ended up being like the guys that made my earlier career so god-awful. Anyway, I want to apologize to her in the most HR-friendly way this Tuesday. Hopefully she doesn't quit, but I also don't want to be the one that gets fired. Fingers crossed. Thank you for opening my eyes and I hope to do my due diligence to be a real ally. YTA. You are the Merco aggressor. YTA. Your coworker is a grown woman who's been Asian her entire life. Do you genuinely think she's unaware that racism exists? All you did was put her on edge around coworkers who may not even be racist. Congratulations, you're the one who created the microaggression. Exactly. She's going to be well aware, and if she isn't somehow, maybe your workplace won't be full of AHs. The OP went out of his way to make her self-conscious and create a problem that doesn't exist. YTA. Also, OP, you should also be aware that plenty of people who claim to be allies pull stuff like this. Kindness that is condescending at best or at worst, a cover for their bigoted opinions by deflecting the blame onto others. I don't blame her for going to HR. YTA. So your coworker was peacefully enjoying her lunch, and you goose-stepped over there like the microwave police to tell her that some people would find her food too ethnic, but not you because you're one of the good white people, but then you go no, but actually the racists are right, you are asking for racism by bringing Asian food in. YTA. Stop being racist to your coworker, she was just trying to eat her leftovers FFS. Get out of your white fragility shield and recognize your own awful hurtful behavior and learn from it and the feedback you're getting, please. YTA, you are not protecting her from racists, you yourself are being racist. If you're trying to convince us / yourself that you're an ally, you might be more than a bit delusional. Also, stop trying to hang around your young coworker LMAO. LOL. Also, stop trying to hang around your young coworker was exactly my thought too. Dude thought that protecting her would be the way to get into her, good graces. Huge, racist fumble by OP here, LOL. So you told a new coworker in order to avoid harassment about your food, you shouldn't bring in your food. Do you realize that you just harassed her? YTA. I suspect this is bait, but the judgment is the same if it is true or fake. AITA for refusing to let my sister wear our late mom's necklace on her wedding day? Sister, 22F, and I, 26F, lost our mom 20 years ago. Mom had a lot of jewelry, and she had it in her will that we would each get specific pieces of it. Dad remarried a year later to Jane. My sister considers Jane her mom and Jane's daughter Nora, 23F, her sister. Due to her feeling like they were just mom and sister and not step, my sister has given away all the jewelry she got from mom to Jane and Nora. I always refused to let them borrow pieces from me. Jane always rubbed me the wrong way because she said my mom was not my sister's mom anymore and she was basically a stand-in until her real mom, her/Jane, could come into my sister's life. She said it was disgusting that I would think it a bad thing for my sister to share pretty jewelry with no real meaning with her family. She said I was the one who was rejecting a mom and sister. My sister has nothing left from what mom left her. When she was graduating high school, she was upset about not having anything to wear, or so it appeared, and she asked if she could borrow a bracelet mom left me. I was like, sure, just give it back after. But my sister gave it to Jane after, and it took months for me to get it back. I told Jane I would escalate the situation if I didn't. Everyone, meaning Dad, my sister, Jane and Nora, thought I was shitty for that. Now the necklace has become an issue. It was mom's favorite piece of jewelry and I have always worn it. I wore it on my wedding day. My sister is aware that it was mom's favorite and she has seen photos of her wearing it. She wanted to borrow it to wear on her wedding day. I was like, no fucking way. I told her I had made it clear after the graduation incident that she was never borrowing another piece off me again, and I told her that if she wants something of mom's to wear, she should take back the stuff she gave away. My sister lost it with me and started yelling that I have always held it against her that she didn't hold mom on a pedestal and reject everyone who came into our lives after. She said I had no right to throw that stuff in her face, I didn't, and that she should be allowed to wear something of mom's to her wedding just like I did when I got married. She broke down and told me I was selfish and awful and I took pleasure in doing this to her and I sucked and had ruined her wedding. AITA? NTA, it's your jewelry. If your sister valued the thought of wearing/owning something that belonged to your mom, she should have kept her pieces instead of giving them away to someone who had no real meaning towards the jewelry in terms of sentimental value. If she understands the sentimentality of having your mother's jewelry, she should have promptly returned your bracelet, not given your bracelet to your stepsister without asking you. You can't trust her, either her own sense of propriety is warped or your stepmom/sis have some undue influence on her. She can get hers back or deal with it. The biggest here are stepmom/sis to manipulate a child who lost their mother to just take somebody else's jewelry passed down from a relative. I hate the term how it's used most of the time, but here gold digger is very much appropriate. NTA. Your sister can ask Jane or Nora. Your necklace isn't just technically yours, but legally, and after the bracelet debacle, you're right not to trust her. You should address this with your father. It's a shame he didn't have your back the first time. Your sister can ask Jane or Nora. Sorry, but this is my necklace gifted to me by my mother. If you want a necklace to wear, then ask your mother. I understand she was given some nice pieces years ago. NTA. Info, why can't your sister borrow the things she gave away to Jane and Nora? NTA. I specifically asked this question because I was curious about your sister's motivation to nag you about your jewelry, also because it appeared that your stepmother set her up to get the necklace and keep it for herself. My advice is that if you don't feel familial ties with your father, sister and step creatures, go low or no contact. It's pointless to bind yourself in ties that don't exist. Free yourself from the resentment and pain. Info, who instigated the giving away if the jewelry, and at what age? If it was when your sister was under about 15, I think it's fair to say she was pressured by Jane into severing any emotional attachment to her birth mother, in which case TA here is Jane. It may then have been kind to consider lending jewelry under very strict and clear conditions, although I accept the only practical way is to ask for a deposit leading to inevitable fireworks there. If older than that, then your sister is TA. NTA she had jewelry from your shared mother. It's on her that she gave it away even if she gave it to family. Let her ask her mom and sister for a piece of the jewelry she shared back for her wedding day. Don't give up a piece of your mom, especially since you had such a hard time getting the first piece back. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.